Hey guys, Nikki here, writing for Jesus. Okay, as you can tell by the title of the video, I wanted to do a more chatty kind of video. I want to talk about my YouTube journey, my reading habits, and how it's changed over the years, and the pros and cons of BookTube, and kind of like BookTube made me do it, where I talk about books that I have read based on my friends' recommendations and books I've loved and books I've hated. So yeah, let's jump right in. So I started my BookTube channel in late 2022 and actually recently deleted a ton of videos off my channel because some of them were just so old and like not well done, and I was like super rambly in some of the reviews and stuff, and some of my thoughts have changed over the years about some of these books. So I'm just keeping like the best of the best and my favorites on my channel, and actually feels really good to just kind of clean house. My reading has changed a little bit over the years, just from as I've grown older. I used to love like Amish fiction, and now I don't, because I like a little bit more meat in my books. I really like historical fiction now, thanks to some of the recommendations on BookTube. I love middle grade stuff and like comics. And then I realized that I was not into contemporary romance. Christian contemporary romance was not my thing. It never was, but I thought that I like would enjoy it and I would still buy them and still read them. But then it just kind of hit me one day that I was like, I never give Christian contemporary romance books over 3.5 stars. That's not very good. Like, I'm happy with 4 and up, but anything below that is like, yeah, it was fine, it was okay, but I'm not gonna keep it. So I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, I shouldn't be reading this if I'm not really enjoying it. There were always things that bothered me in those kind of reads. They were always really focused on the physicality of the romance, really focused on the guy and how he looked and making him like perfect, and not focused on Jesus and not focused on the faith content. And I just feel like that's not a really good message to send to people. So yeah, I unhauled like all of those books. I had like 60 books on my shelf that I unhauled a couple of years ago, and it felt really good. And so that leads us into the pros and cons of BookTube. So what I've learned from my journey is one of the cons for me was getting wrapped up in like FOMO and like wanting to read all the books that my friends were reading and wanting to buy every book that my friends were like recommending, and wanting to get everyone in the series before I even started the first one. Like, it was pretty bad. I was like addicted to thrift books and just shopping all the time and getting all these books that I hardly knew anything about. And I have learned my lesson, and I still love to buy books, but I'm doing way better where I don't feel like addicted, and I don't feel like it's unhealthy, because it was. And then another con to BookTube is comparing, like the comparison trap. And I'm not like bad mouthing BookTube, but it's like too much of anything can be bad, and it was my fault for allowing myself to get swept away. Yeah, buying too many books, and the comparison of, why does this channel have so many views and I don't have that many views? I'm doing the same thing, right? Like all that kind of stuff. So I have backed off a little bit and not been watching as much as I was watching. I'm also trying to do better about not spending so much time on my phone or on YouTube. After reading the Charlie Kirk book back there, he has a whole chapter dedicated to screen time, and so that really impacted me, and it's helped me do better. And I have an app on my phone. It shows me how much time a day that I spend on my phone, and so it was like 5.5 hours, and now I've gotten it down to like 3.5 hours. So really thankful for that. But yeah, bottom line is, it doesn't matter how many views we get and how many comments we get. You know, it's all about just making an impact for Jesus, and you know, spreading joy and enjoying doing this and enjoying the friends that we do make. The pros to BookTube have been, I've made some really good friends on here. I've had so much fun like filming and editing videos, and you know, commenting and talking to friends on here, and it's just been, it's opened up like a whole new world for me, and like I love reading now, and it has helped me in my writing so much. It's really helped me with getting my books out there, and like there have been people on YouTube that I've sent my book to, and putting my audiobooks on my channel is just such a cool way to get my books out there to other people. And it just feels really like I'm accomplishing something and I'm spending my time more wisely by reading. Another pro and con to BookTube is there's some really good books I've read and there's some really bad books that I've read. But actually, like, it's kind of funny because I'm always on the look for 5-star reads. Like, I'm always wanting and hoping that a book is going to be great. But it's actually really fun to rant about a book. Like, it's actually fun when I don't like a book. It's not fun necessarily to read it, but it's really fun to talk about it. So that brings us into the next portion of the video. Let's talk about the books that I read a couple years ago that a lot of people were recommending that I did not like. So this is no hate on the people who recommended the book, no hate on the author. They just didn't work for me. First on the list is Catching Christmas by Terry Blackstock, and I was loving it. I was like laughing so hard. I don't think I've ever laughed that much in a book. It's about this like elderly lady who keeps calling the cab company for rides, and she keeps calling the same guy, same cab driver, and he is like so sarcastic and so grumpy, but he keeps going and like helping her. It's just like so funny. After the half-point mark, I like really wasn't liking it because I didn't like how there was a romance in there that just felt so like forced, and like I just didn't buy it. I didn't believe it. They didn't have any time to really get to know each other. The characters were very emotional. I just kind of got on my nerves. So yeah, it went from a 5-star to a 3-star. Submerged by Danny Petrie. The only thing I liked was the sibling relationships. They were really sweet. Besides that, I didn't like anything in this book. So it's about this girl who like comes back to town. She was like the bad girl, party girl. She comes back to town for her aunt's funeral. There's like this whole weird thing with like this Russian like artifact, and they kept calling it something else, like an icon or something that I've never heard of before. So I didn't know what they were talking about. It felt so far removed. I could not relate to it at all. I didn't care about the mystery. Her aunt dies, like in the first chapter, like someone was trying to kill her and he succeeded. But they make it seem like she's going to survive. And I really wanted her to survive and then it'd be her story. Yeah, it was a Christian fiction, book, and it just felt honestly kind of dirty. The girl had a really bad past, and it just like, she kept talking about it. She kept referring back to it. And I was like, I don't want to hear about this. Like, stop putting so much focus on this and focus on how Jesus can help you and how he's changed you. Like, it was gory too. And then last book, In Search of a Prince by Tony Shiloh. This is my first buddy read with Celestria. I was really liking this book. It was like Princess Diaries. Like, she realizes she's a princess and she goes to this place to see if she wants to be a princess or if she's gonna renounce the throne. And then we hit the climax, and that climax to me was so like juvenile. Like I couldn't get into it. I was like, I just don't believe this. Like, where are her guards? The big reveal was just not very suspenseful. I didn't buy it. I didn't believe it. They had another big reveal at the end, and they're like, it was so-and-so. And I'm like, you mentioned this person one time. Like, how was I supposed to remember him? And yeah, I just did not like the climax at all. The faith content was great though in that book. I loved the faith content. I just didn't like the reveal and stuff at the end and some of the romance. So I totally forgot to mention a book, Love and a Little White Lie by Tammy L. Gray. I was loving it. The thing about Christian contemporary romance is that they're really well written. I love the writing style usually. And so that would always compel me, and like I loved the beginning. And then it would hit the 75% mark and they would have a dumb third act breakup, and there was never a come to Jesus moment. I wasn't rooting for the girl. That's another thing too, is that the girls are always so annoying in those books. They're so emotional and rude to the guy. She keeps saying like, oh, love and a little white lie. Like, oh, it's a little white lie that this girl is pretending to be Christian so she could have this job at this church. Like, she never has a moment where she's like faking it till she makes it. Like I thought it'd be so funny, her like at church and like trying to act like a Christian, and like she has no idea what she's doing or what anybody's talking about. Like, that would have been so funny, and like the author never did that. It was a 4-star originally because certain things were really well written, but it really was like a 3-star. For the final part of the video, let's take you around the shelves and show you which books that I have loved based on my friends' recommendations on YouTube. All right, so here is my favorites shelf now, and here is Counted with the Stars. I love this book so much. I love this biblical story on the Exodus. You see the plagues of Egypt, and it's just so cool. This is by Colin Cassette. I don't remember who recommended Julie Klassen, but somebody did, and I'm so thankful because I love those historical fiction books. The romance is so romantic, and the faith content is beautiful. It feels so real. Her books are long, but they just fly by. I finished them in just a couple of days. Really beautiful. One of my favorite authors now. And of course, Gabrielle Meyer, the Timeless series. The first 5 books in the series were all 5 stars for me. So different from anything I've ever read before. They're just really beautiful. The way you have 2 different timelines for one character and seeing which timeline they're going to pick and live in for the rest of their life once they hit 21 years old. Really beautiful. She hits some really hard topics in here, like Jack the Ripper and the Salem witch trials, but she handles it with such elegance and beauty and such good faith content that's really natural and really believable, and you're just really swept away with her stories. So I love it. That's probably my favorite series. It's timeless. All right, and then down here, fortunately, The Milk. I think Chantel recommended that book, and as well she recommended Among the Hidden by Margaret Peterson Haddix. Those books were so good. Fortunately, The Milk was just a fun time. I just couldn't stop laughing. And Among the Hidden is such a good dystopian book about a population control kind of world. It was just so incredible. And Restart by Gordon Corman. I loved this book. I think Oshina recommended that book, and it was a 5-star read about a bully getting amnesia and restarting his life, and it was beautiful. And there are plenty of other books on my shelves that have been recommended by friends that I have not gotten to yet. So yeah, I'm very thankful for BookTube and for all the fun that I've had and all the good book recs I've got, and just all the friendship that I've made. And yeah, I appreciate you guys watching and listening to me ramble about books and stuff and talk about my faith and my writing. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you have a good day. I'll see you in whatever comes next. Bye, and God bless.